Granite Xhaka. Today, we're going to be reviewing Team of the Season Granite Xhaka. Pretty, I would say, underrated team of the season. He's just very low-key in the game, very cheap. 20,000 coins for, I'm not going to lie, a pretty good midfielder. So let's go through, break down his card, talk about some of his stats. So starting off, his first big pro I wrote is he's just a cheap, solid CDM slash centre mid. Like, you're going to get very good value for him. I would say he's just a nice budget player to have for... Oh, I forgot to upgrade the price. That's on me. He's actually only 20,000 coins. I know the overlay says 90k. He's 20,000 coins. So he's just super, super cheap. Yeah, please ignore that. That's on me. I didn't update it from the previous one, but he's 20,000 coins. So you're going to get that very cheap. And he's Premier League. So if you're just looking for someone just to kind of shore that midfield, he's going to do the job super well. He's not going to be expected to do too much. Like I said, he's only 20,000 coins, right? But you're getting a very solid player. I actually paired him with Bruno Guimaraes, and like, he was just such a good duo. Him and Guimaraes are such a good duo together. He was really, really good defensively. And it's weird because he didn't have the defensive play styles. We're going to cover that soon, but his AI area where he was pretty good, and he won the ball right there. He wins the ball back. What I think he's really good at, right, is not a DM, because I think he can get exposed against top cards like an Mbappe, Yamal. He can get exposed against those type of cards. But if you put him in a center mid, right, and you just, his role is just to get the ball, kind of win it back and pass it to your other midfielder. For me, he did a really good job at that. That's where he did really well. And we'll go to his next pro here. What he actually does as well is he has a great range of passing. His passing playstyle are quite unique as well. So if you actually look at his passing and his passing stats, right, he has 91 vision, he has 83 crossing, free kick accuracy 84, but let's look at his short and long passing. Those are the key ones, 95 and 96. So what you're going to end up seeing, right, is a lot of the time he will basically just do the short passes, do the short passes, do the short passes. But when you need him sometimes, right, especially as a midfielder, right, if you need him to kind of ping the ball across, he has this as well. So he has a long ball pass, so you could do your LBY over the tops, and he has incisive passing. So sometimes he'll just kind of whip out a long pass out of nowhere, and I don't think your attackers will really expect it. So I actually think that was a really good part of his game that just adds to it. It's just that range of passing, especially that long range passing. He has it in his bag. So you could just randomly, if you see someone making a run, like, you could do like a full power through ball, and he'll do a nice incisive pass around the corner. Or an over the top, and he'll do a nicely weighted pass. So he has that in his locker, which I think is just nice to have for a centre mid. So I would play him deep, and he's like a deep line playmaker, right? He's really good at that kind of facility. His next one is his standing tackle. So very specific. This is where I don't think he has the bag, unfortunately, as someone I would prefer as a CDM. If you look at his defensive playstyles, he doesn't really have a lot. He doesn't have any jockey or block or intercept. He has anticipate, right? So it helps him with his standing tackles. So he's kind of good at getting that ball once it lands at a midfielder or attacker's feet. He's good at kind of getting those, like, grabbing the ball off them. And he also, if you look down, has Bruiser as well, Bruiser Plus. So even greater strength when performing physical tackles. So those two together, it was kind of nice. But again, I don't think it's good enough to be a CDM. But as a centre mid, it was nice that he had that, because he's like a defensive centre mid, which is weird because he's not a CDM. Like, I would play him as a centre mid, but he'll be the defensive one. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't think he was good enough to be like a CDM and rely on him heavy. Like, if I look at like Kante's card from back in the day, like, you know, that prime CDM, like, that's really, really good. He's not that for me. He's like a good centre midfielder that is more defensive. Right, that's where I look at him. So I would definitely play him as a centre mid, but you can get away with using him as a CDM. In a 2, you could definitely get away with it. If you had him and another CDM that's very similar, and they both work together to kind of win the ball back, you can definitely get away with that. I just liked him as a centre mid. His ball carrying was great and did a good job. The only con I wrote, like, I just kind of touched on that there, but just lack of defensive playstyles for a CDM. So you have to be careful. We could get exposed a little bit against the best players, but I'm not going to lie, solid card for me. Just a real solid card. I didn't have any complaints. He's got his overall shooting playstyles are there, not really utilized by me. His passing playstyles are pretty good. You got Tiki Taka, you got Ping Pass. Again, if you want like an S-tier player, you want probably Tiki Taka Plus, which he doesn't have. But these two are nice. Incisive passing, I prefer on my cams. So again, it's not like it wasn't needed as a center mid, which is why his card's probably a bit cheaper, because some of his playstyles aren't like useful as for his position. Defending doesn't have as many playstyles as you would want. ball control. He's got first touch, which is nice, and he's got technical, which is fine as well. Even there, like maybe if he had press proven, which would be nice as well. Like there's a couple of play styles that he probably could have had that would have helped him a bit more. Maybe make him a bit better. His overall stats are pretty solid though. Again, if you look at the actual deep stats, like 96 short passing, 96 long passing, 95 short passing, he's got some solid stats, man. He really does. Not a bad card, not a bad card at all. In the 8 games, he's got 3 goals, got 2 assists. But like I said, for me, he was more the destroyer, passing it over to my other midfielder and going from there. I use him as a left centre mid. And sometimes if you have him as like the left centre mid, right, what happens is like he can like win the ball back around this area of the pitch and then do a nice little through ball over, and he could go to your left striker or an over the top if the space is there. Like he has that range in his locker. But overall, not a bad card. I think I'll give him like the B tier. His price is very cheap though, which does help him out a little bit because you're not overpaying. So if you have like a 4-3-1-2 and you've got options in the midfield, like I think he's definitely a good midfielder to have in your team. Again, just for the pure price. He's Premier League as well, so you can get some nice chemistry links. But yeah, not a bad play. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Catch you guys from one tomorrow.